Welcome back to another episode of The Chunky Jeweller. In today's video we are making an engagement ring. Hope that works. So I'm going to divide this video up in 3 sections, or 3 episodes for that matter. First video would be today's video, which is going to be how I made the collet. It's a rec setting, 6 claw, and I will go through the whole process of how I made that. Then tomorrow hopefully I will finish up editing the second bit where I make the band for the same ring. Then in the third segment I will then assemble everything and set the diamond, and I'll show you step by step how I do this. And if everything looks slightly different for my regular subscribers or regular viewers, by the way, if you're not subscribed, please click the button, and I will explain what's happening behind me at the end of everything. So stick around, you might learn a thing or two. So I'm going to try something new, something I haven't done before. I've seen other YouTubers do this and I thought I'll give it a go. I'm going to give you a running commentary of the video as it's playing along. So bear with me, it's my first time trying this, so let's hope I don't stuff it up. Here we go. So we start off with a 0.75 carat diamond. Colors on the certificate, color G, VV, so fairly good color, mid-range grade, and nice diamond, good luster and everything. So we start off, I've pre-prepared this metal and I've rolled it to 0.7 thick. This will form the collet bit. So first what I do, I measure out bend the metal around, make sure it fits the stone, and then cut everything accordingly. So you'll see me there bending it, tweaking it a bit, just so I get that tube, for lack of a better word, to the right size to fit the stone. Because what you want the stone to sit in on. The girdle outside of the diamond needs to sit on the inside ridge of the bezel. That's what you want, that's ideal. So next I do tweak it. You want to get that joint nice and flush, lined up perfectly, no gaps. So what I usually do, I will bend everything nice and round and then cut through with the saw blade to make sure that joint is nice and flush and tight. You want a nice tight fitting joint. So I spend a lot of time making sure that that is what I have essentially. So the next step, as you can see, get the flux ready and ready to solder that bezel down the center. Apply some flux. I prefer the powder flux, as I've mentioned in my previous videos. Bit of platinum solder and you heat that puppy up. I always put a bit of extra just for good luck, good measure, just to make sure everything is nice and tight. So next I use a bezel block to get that conical shape, and I know there's a lot of jewelers out there trying to bust the myth that you cannot make a cylindrical bezel conical in that block, and I've done it all my life. And if you know what you're doing, you're saving yourself a lot of time and a lot of hassle on making the bezel conical. You don't have to use a strip and bend it round and bend it this way and then it doesn't line up and you get a nonsense. So there you can see it, bezel is nice and conical. I just take a ball fraser, clean the inside out a bit, and next what I'm doing here is, essentially the metal was too wide, so I want the setting to sit a little bit lower. I want the stone to sit a little bit lower because the customer actually asked for it to be set as low as possible. So that's all I'm doing there, is just cutting the bezel down to length or to height, whichever way you want to look at it. So just filing everything nice and flush, nice and perpendicular. Want everything 90-degree angles, all straight, otherwise you end up with your collar sitting this way in the end. So double checking. So there I've marked out where I want my collets to be. So the next step is after I've marked it, I'll measure the side of the bezel, so that when I file the grooves, all the grooves line up all the way around, so you don't have one sitting this way, this height, that height, and you want them all to sit nice and even. And the next step is I will take my saw blade, cut into all those marked sections. You'll see I'll first mark the top, cut into the top all the way around, flip the setting around, and then cut in between the top marks. I'll cut down the center, and then so you file away this section, that section, and the middle section below, so you get that nice V shape. And it's a bit of a process, it's tedious, but if you do it properly, you end up with a very nice collet. So I do have some shortcuts to save some time. I like to use a flame burr to start off my V groove, right, so that you get everything nice and straight, and you can kind of measure with your eyes and just line everything up or get everything aligned. And then you'll see I'll first do the top section, then I'll go ahead and grind away the bottom sections, and it's starting to take shape. You'll start to see those V shapes starting to form quite nicely. And then I just take a little round needle file to it, and then just happily file away. So there you can see the results of me filing it and tweaking it a bit more and going around with a conical burr just to get those little round notches that makes it look, gives it a bit more finesse. And it's just, rest is just tidying up. And obviously I've sped up this video quite a bit, but don't want to waste too much of your time. But it's quite a long process. I think in real time it took about 3.5 hours to do that collet. And that's just at this point in the video, what I'm doing is I want a little bezel section underneath the setting, underneath the rec setting, to give it that nice, give it a bit more height again, and give it a nice elegant look. So what I tend to do, I've got my platinum and I bend it around my round nose pliers, so you end up with a nice circular shape, almost like a flat plate jump ring that I'm making. And I tend to do it 2 or 3 times, so just to see which one fits the best. And yeah, it's always worth taking that extra bit of care to make the collet look beautiful. So now I've cut the jump rings, for lack of a better word, getting it all lined up. So there you can see that I've unfortunately I didn't take the footage of while I was soldering the bottom bezel to the collet, but you can essentially see what was done. Basically just putting the collet on top of the bezel, stacking solder it all the way around, and now it's just for cleaning up. So always worth taking your time, make sure everything looks good, double checking everything. And as far as I'm concerned, I thought this one looked quite good. So yeah, there you go, collet is made. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one, where I actually make the band for the setting. That's going to do it for today's video, making the platinum setting for the 75 pointer diamond. In the next video I'll be making the band for that setting, so be sure to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see the end result of that engagement ring. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Chunky Jeweller out.